Hey Jordan, so this video is specifically for you. I just wanted to go over like some of the things that I did. I did a lot of work with the organizer side of things. I don't know if you remember, but I said last time that I really focused on like the user side, not as much the organizer side. Well, it's pretty 50-50, maybe even more skewed towards the organizer side. I've got a lot done and I think you're gonna like it. So let's talk about some things. So this you might have seen before, and I've made some additions. So I've got scoring systems are now a part of this. We'll get into that later. We've got waiver templates. So I did just have waivers, and like that was just one thing, but I kind of realized like, okay, you need to keep track of the signed waivers as well. So I made waiver templates so that you can just reuse the waivers that you create, and I also have an area for the signed waivers in case you ever need to reference one of them. Past competitions is here as well, and so we also have competition templates. So I decided to, I think rightfully, make a distinction between the events and the competitions, because like when you threw that event for secret, there was multiple competitions. You had like the Dodds freestyle, you had I don't remember, but anyhow, you had the different competitions. So I know it says waivers. Ignore that. I just didn't change the text. But yeah, pretty much going to have templates that you can reuse. So if you're doing competitions that are like classical dodds or freestyle, you can reuse those. So this is the newly updated create event page. So what I did differently was I added the staff thing and I also added the competitions thing. I removed the rules field and I need to add a description field. So I'll circle back to this. So when you go to build a competition, so let me just add. So this button right here, when you click this, you're going to be brought to where's it at? This right here. So right now it's showing 4 separate icons, and the 4 separate icons represent. So this is an athlete, this is a judge, this is a filmer, and then this is a trick labeler, I suppose, and I'll explain my thinking behind the trick labeler, and you and I can work to decide whether or not that's really something you want to do. I think it would be great. We'll talk about it later, though. So one thing that's missing from here that needs to be in here is I'm adding like the ability to add competitions from here as well. So like imagine maybe a clipboard or something that you could click on. But yeah, these are literally just clickable icons. So if you can tell like the slight gold hue, that lets you know what you're doing, plus the title will change. So if you click add athlete, you're going to be able to search different athletes and also invite the recommended ones. If you click a judge, now I think, and this is something we probably, it's probably more my problem to deal with, but I think I'm going to put the judges not with the organizer side. So you have the option between athlete and organizer. I think I'm going to make them athletes. I know they're not exactly athletes. A lot of them don't have anything to do with it other than the scoring. But regardless, you can select judges, which will probably have a menu nearly identical to this. Filmers, same concept, and the labelers, same concept. Now, the only thing that's really different is the add competition. So this is where you'll be able to add your competition, and here you'll be able to give it a name. So you could say classical dodds. You could say there's 2 rounds, and you could give like a relative start time. And obviously nobody expects you to like fully adhere to it, but you could say like I expect this to start at 1:30 or whatever. And then here you can write the rules and description. And this is after you've hit added. So if you fill this out and you hit add, instead of like taking you to some other screen, it'll just let you know that it was added, and you can just create another competition so that you never have to like restart the process of adding a competition if you try to do multiple at once. So here is the filled event page, and so a little bit's changed from here. So I've added a hamburger menu, and this hamburger menu is basically going to allow you to change the order of the contestants, right? Why isn't that working? All right, I'll deal with that later. But so if you want to, look at your roster and be like, okay, I want Billy Bob to go ahead of Bladen, then you can drag and drop Billy Bob's thing above Bladen's, mine, whatever. You know what? I probably didn't put a hamburger. No, there needs to be a hamburger menu here. Okay, so also the liability waiver, I made it a drop down. So you can literally just select from whatever liability waivers you have or waivers in general, or you can select your scoring system. And then all the way down here is the start event, which should probably be a little lower. And so just to avoid misclicks, if you click on start event, you'll be brought to this, which like makes you basically doubly confirm. Down here is what happens when you hit the hamburger menu. So here, you can see the waivers, you can message the people, but if you hit the hamburger menu instead, you're given the options to delete competitions you have listed, arrange the order that they're in, like it's now drag and droppable. Same goes for like the roster staff. So these are now clickable. So when you hit the hamburger menu on the staff, it'll allow you to change the role of somebody. So like if this person was a labeler, but now they're going to be a filmer, you can just click it and it'll be like a drag or it'll be a drop down menu. And same goes for removing people. So here is what you're going to be looking at when you're actually running the competition. So when you hit start event and you confirm the competition, it'll bring you to this. And what we have here is we have the competitor that is currently up. So if you started a fresh competition, it'll start with X person, number one, then their social icon. It'll let you know who's up next, and then the person who's up after that. Here is where you'll be able to input like your scoring. So I noticed that you were scoring during the competition. So this will allow you to give your own input, and then this will allow you to control the rounds. So I think so. The idea is you're going to hit next athlete after each person does their thing, after like all the judges have scored. I think I'm going to give you a little bit more information. Like I'll let you know if all the judges are finished with scoring or not. Like I'll let you know like 3 out of 4 judges are done scoring or something. But this is like a queue. So it's going to start with like, let's say 5 people. And when you hit next athlete, well, all of a sudden one's going to get taken out and you'll have like 2, 3, 4, 5. You press again, you got 3, 4, 5, press again, 4, 5, press again, 5. And then once you're finally out of options, you press next athlete on 5. I think I'm just going to make it give you the option to press next round. But I'm also going to give you the option to switch it manually in case something goes wrong where, maybe an athlete isn't there, or for some reason you're skipping them around, who knows, but I'll make sure you have control over that. And so here's where you build your scoring system, and I'm realizing these should be swapped, but here's where you build your scoring system. So you just give it a name, and then like you can give scores for different things. So like this is a single front flip, this is a double front flip, triple front flip, quadruple front flip, quint front flip, and this is a half twist, 1 twist, 2 twist, 3 twist, 4 twist, 5 twist. Oh, I don't even have 5 twist. And I need to add the symbols for the backflips as well. But you can also score things such as a dive, a dod, no-handed dod, castaway, and a con gainer. So this kind of like just gives you an objective way to score things, because like, oh, I didn't even mention like this is creativity, this is style, and this is execution. So you can you can subjectively look at these things and score them, but this right here gives you more of like an objective look at like the scoring system, so people know how you're scoring this, and it's not so much based on your opinion as much as it is like an actual system that you put in place. So all of this is literally just up in the air. Let me know if you like the concept of certain things, and if you don't, and if you've got things you don't like and do like, just let me know and we'll work with it. So as a judge, this is what you'll be given. So you will basically be, so a lot like you're given the option to score here, you'll be given the option to score here. And so you might notice that like there's a video here. Well, this is a static image obviously, but it will be a video. These videos will come in as the filmers take videos. So as the filmers take videos, they'll get uploaded to the judges' phones, and the judges will be able to play back a trick that just happened, just for more accurate scoring. So there's that. And these icons are clickable. You'll notice this little eye icon, and that's basically just to let people know, like, hey, if you don't know what this is, you can just click on it and it'll give you more information. Here is one of the things for the filmers. So the filmers will be told basically how many people are recording, and the contestant that is currently up. So the idea behind the zero recording thing is, like, if you're trying to, record people doing tricks, and, nobody's recording, on a focus, like nobody's like actually recording the person doing the trick. Well, you'll see that here, and they'll be like, oh shit, I should probably try to do this then. And then this is going to be like a Snapchat style record. You just press and hold. I'll probably make a little lock button that you can slide over into, and this will be like 30-second to a minute clips. Down here is candid. So this is just like literally people walking around recording what's going on, not really particularly interested in the actual jumps themselves, just getting like B-roll shots of people doing random things, socializing, But yeah, this is more of like a long form video, press and let release, and that's the end of that. And so here's for the labeling. Simple enough. When you press the label trick button, it will just bring the labeler to this right here, and it should be pretty quick. I mean, if somebody jumped off a bridge, you just select the bridge, and then you select, oh, they did a front half, and then they did a double back out. So I mean, that's a pretty simple thing, and that'll basically allow your scoring system to work by labeling the trick. Now, what else do we have? All right, so like I said, I'm jumping the gun on making this video a little bit because there's so much more that needs done. But just to like show you some of the things I've changed. Any bridge jumper, if you're listening, now would be the time to like listen in and hear what I've done. So this is the updated map concept. There's going to be a search bar to like search different areas. And how funny is that? I just forget little things like this. Anyhow, so when you zoom out, it'll like hover over these different maps and or these different locations and tell you about them. So there's 2 friends, 5 randos, and 2 videos have been filmed. But this is like where I really made progress with the UI. So when you click on it, it'll expand and it'll give you some really important information. So this will be like a story icon where you can click and just see what's going on today. This is obviously just information about the bridge. It's 27 foot tall and the water's roughly 10 foot deep normally to save my ass legally. So, and then, just the ability to rival people. And then down here is like long-term content storage. It's linked to these locations. So you can just see all of the shit that's been going on. Down here, we have like the depth report, patrol reported, and often patrolled by authorities, basically just letting you know safety stuff and police avoidance. And so here's like where people would organically, so not an invite, this is like organically find your competition. And I probably will give you controls over like public and private events. I really probably should do that soon. I'll keep a note of that. But organically, if somebody were to stumble across your thing, they could, hit join, which I think I'll not make that a join button. Because what I'm really doing is I'm actually going to give them the option to join specific competitions, not the event itself. Because I remembered that you had a couple of people that were in one competition, but maybe not another. And I think what's really important is the specific competitions people are involved in, not the events themselves. So here's the basics. It'll tell them what the name is, where it's at, or not where it's at, the date, where it's at, the time, a little description of your choosing, and then the dodge comp, right? So a little description, maybe some rules, the option to view a scoring system, which will just take them to a separate page that will pretty much look identical to this. But if they hit, it'll show them the competitors. There's 15. You got 4 friends out of that group that are going. There should be a downwards arrow here, but it got lost. But if you click competitors, it'll basically pull up this little menu that will just let you know who's there, allow you to rival them. And then you have the option to compete. And assuming there were like multiple competitions, it would literally just be a situation where like, okay, you scroll a little further and then bam, there's another competition down there. So yeah, that's where we are. Some of the goals that I have are to give you privacy controls over the events that you create. I also want to make the content. So there's nothing in here that really talks about content, and I kind of need to figure out the content system, figure out how all of that's going to work, and like the distribution of the content. One of the next things I'll be working on is like the actual invitations. So like there's notifications here, and none of this is like an invitation to a competition or an event. So I'm going to work on working with the competition or the event invites. And then I got to kind of figure out what I'm going to do about, the judges, recorders, and people of that nature, and like how their UI is going to change, because, if they're going from this to like something over here, then that's a big difference. I got a lot to work on, but I think this is like a pretty good start to like give you an idea of the vision I had, and hopefully you and I can work from here and figure out what you need. Sorry about the long-winded video. Thank you for watching, Jordan. Catch you later, bro.